So, rising UFC star Benoit Saint Denis has apparently turned down a shot against Michael Chandler at the infamous UFC White House card. Um, Awful move. Benoit apparently believes that a win against Michael Chandler won't do much for him, and I absolutely disagree. I think Michael Chandler, of course, isn't the best UFC fighter, and he's only getting lower and lower in the division right now with all these losses he's been taking. But he's still a big enough name to warrant being a contender. It is, in my opinion, because Michael Chandler has done a lot for the UFC. So the UFC is always going to try their best to put him in the best places, and that means a win against him is still pretty big. And Michael Chandler isn't a pushover. He's got tons of energy. I believe he's very powerful. The only issue that has really affected Michael Chandler's career is his IQ, both in and outside the cage. His IQ has affected the trajectory of his career. I believe Michael Chandler could have already been a UFC champion by now if he was actually smart, both in and outside the cage. And that's his issue. When Mike gets into big fights against big contenders or big names, he just underperforms. He'll either lose focus, just not come out with really good striking, not come out with really good grappling, or just plain and simple throw caution to the wind and end up eating a big punch or a big kick. That's Mike's problem. And Mike would likely do the same in a fight against Benoit. I see Benoit either knocking Mike out early or submitting Mike maybe halfway through the fight. And that's honestly a good look for Benoit. That's why I don't understand why Benoit didn't take this fight. I believe that a big win against Michael Chandler at a venue as huge as the White House card would have done wonders for what would have been next for Benoit Saint Denis. I believe Benoit could have arguably called for a title shot after whooping Michael Chandler in emphatic fashion at a huge card at the White House. Okay, like the White House card isn't a must-watch card, but the venue alone is going to grab so much attention. You know, so this is a bad move for Benoit. It really is. And if I'm in Benoit's team, if I'm Benoit's manager, I am scolding Benoit on this huge denial. This is an epic missed opportunity, and I don't think Benoit has done enough right now to warrant a name bigger than Michael Chandler, or much bigger than Michael Chandler, like an Ilya or not an Islam, or like an Ilya or an Arman. I don't see Benoit being able to get that fight done. So I think Michael Chandler is as good as it's going to get for Benoit, where Benoit currently is at in his career. But overall, let me know what you think.